Welcome back to another PD2 video here. This video is another barb build. I'm calling it Leap Quake. It uses this new rune word called Rapture, which is very expensive. Can only be made in two-handed weapons here because there's no one-handed weapon that has 6-socket that works for it. And basically what it does is it has a big chance to do a big fissure on strike and also a big chance to do lower resist on strike. And it also has ignores target defense. The other stuff's great, but not really the point of it. It's great. It's a great item. It does a lot of damage, and the fissure does a ton of damage because of the lower resist. So I wanted to build around it, and this is what I came up with. So there's really two variants for this build. I'm calling it Leap Quake because it reminds me of the Diablo 3 barb. And there's the open wounds version, and then there's the version that focuses on the fissure damage. A couple things to note about Leap Attack. It does not use both your weapons if you're dual wielding. It just uses the most recently equipped one. However, if you're wearing a shield and a weapon, it will use both of those in terms of on striking. So I did try this with a Phoenix and the one-handed, I don't know, it's like a mace that does fissure, but no good without the lower resist. So Leap Attack also... it's just like, think of it like charge, but you're leaping instead of charging. And it does an AoE on impact, plus the melee splash. So it does do a big melee AoE. The sheet damage is fine. Not itemized at all for enhanced damage either. So the first variant I want to look at, oh, and also two things to note about Leap is there's two items, these boots and this glove, or boots and this helm that increase your leap speed. So increased attack speed doesn't matter for Leap Attack. The only way to increase it is these two items. And so to get more fissures and more procs, you want more speed. And so I recommend using these. You would up them, but yeah. So the first variant is to buff the fissure damage. So that's with a 3OS Ormus. As long as it has 15 base enemy fire resist, that's all you really need. And 3 sockets with the 3 fire faucets. When you are trying to proc more fissures, it's advantageous to attack faster, so that's why I go with the Cyclopean Roar, and again that has faucets in it. The second variant is to go open wounds and focus more on that. So of course Tooth Row, Demon Edge, and Gore Riders will give us a bunch more open wounds. So you can see we're at 2695 with the open wounds, which is okay. When you go full open wounds, you get around 5,000, so it's about half. So it's still good. And then if we're focusing more on the fire damage, we're down to 1,600. But you'll notice that our elemental mastery goes from 88 down to 68. So it's actually not that big of a difference. The real big difference here is that you're not getting the attack speed on your leap. So we'll test with both. As for charms, you could just max leap synergies and get skillers for leap. That just increases the physical damage when you land, which is not really the fun part about this. I've done that build before. It's not that good. It feels janky. This is more about proccing stuff and leaving so that things will die in what you're leaving behind, which is the fissure damage. So I didn't max the synergies for Leap Attack. Instead, I maxed Deep Wounds, and I put the rest in Grim Ward. Regular stuff here in the War Cries, General Masteries. It could probably not have maxed that and got more Grim Ward, but I always feel like that's definitely better anyways. And we don't have to worry about Frenzy because it's a two-hander. And yeah, so that's that. For Charms, I think that's what I started with there, but Charms, mimicking having 16 perfect 3% fire skill damage charms to increase the fissure damage. 2 all resist, Torch and Annie. Alright, so on the Merc, it's just a regular ass Merc with Infinity and Templar's Might. Now, he probably shouldn't have this. So we don't want him overriding the curse. That's another thing with the Ami, you can't get Atmas because it'll override your curse here unless you wear the other barb helm, but then you won't be getting the speed, so it's just like not gonna work. Anyway, so I'll show you the gameplay. It's pretty straightforward. You just come in and you just start leaping. And so this is with the open wounds version. And you'll see, you know, stuff does die. It's not dying right away, but it's still okay. So that's the open wounds version. And, you know, we're leaping not as fast as we are leaping as fast. Oh, hold on, actually, I think I fucked everything up here. Yeah, okay. So let me put this back on. So now we're doing max fire damage with the Ormus rope. So let's see how that looks. I wish the DPS meter worked, but it doesn't. Unpluggy. You know, and when you land, you're not doing much damage on the actual leap itself, especially in cows where they have a lot of PDR, but it's all about the fissure killing stuff afterwards. The fissure lasts a few seconds, does a lot of fire damage. The idea is that they have no resists, and you're buffing that damage by a lot. And so the question becomes, why don't I just Whirlwind? And the answer is you should just Whirlwind. In fact, Whirlwind is better with this item compared to Leap Attack. And that's really what this video is about. It's my complaints about Leap Attack. They've tried to make it a thing, but Leap Attack compared to Whirlwind is worse in every regard. So there's nothing unique about Leap Attack. Number one, some things I did some testing on. For instance, the armor that gives you Blade Shield, the rune word, you would think, okay, when you're leaping and you're leaping by stuff, maybe that will hit them. No, it doesn't. It doesn't hit them. So while you're midair, you can't hit them with anything else. You can be hit though, which is interesting, by projectiles and stuff, and any spells. And yeah, you'll see it. We just died. So it's not that strong. It's a little bit squishy, and in general, it just doesn't do much damage, even if you itemize differently. So yeah, I'm gonna just quickly open a new map here, one without fire absorb, and we'll just jump in there. I'll keep talking. So basically, what's the purpose of Leap, right? Like, so it's supposed to be this, you know, new way to play the game. And so far, all it appears to be is like a worse way to play Whirlwind. It is nice that for Leap, you don't have to worry about increased attack speed. However, you have to dedicate 2 weapon slots to pretty poor items just to get faster leaps. So, in fact, it's worse than having it scale with attack speed, because if it's scaled with attack speed, you'd have a lot more options to build your character. Currently, as it stands, you don't really have that many options. Another thing is that it doesn't exactly proc things faster than Whirlwind would. Whirlwind, when you're dual wielding, you know, it's 2 attacks every 6 frames or 1 attack every 5 frames if you're wearing a 2-hander. That's more procs than this is, because as you can see, it's taking quite a few seconds to travel and land. Even if I just leap right on the spot, not any faster. And it's also more dangerous because things can actually hit me. So when I land from leap, I put things in hit recovery, and that's why I'm not instantly dying when I land. But I have to immediately leap and leave, otherwise I will start getting hit. And yes, lifesteal works, but not really as good as Whirlwind. It's certainly going to be fast for tier 1 maps, because leaping does move quicker than Whirlwind, I'll give it that. But you know, without this rune word, Leap Attack is pretty poor. And if I did want to cast amp damage at the same time, I would be forced to wear that other helm, because, you know, I want to have both the curses up. You know, it's not bad. Like, I will say, it's definitely playable. You could play this build and play the game, but it's just a question of why. The Leap Attack skill itself still feels very janky compared to Whirlwind, which is already a historically janky ability compared to, like, I don't know, Zeal or Charge. Or they're all kind of janky now that I'm saying it out loud, but it's just it just doesn't do anything uniquely. Also, it's horrible against bosses. The boss damage is pathetic. It'll take me like 5 minutes to kill this boss. So there's that. So I'm not going to kill that boss. But yeah, I mean, I just ran through this tier 3 map, no problem, right? So it is strong. I'm not saying it's not strong. I just think that Leap needs to have something different about it that, and maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there is something different. But yeah, leave a comment if you know. But basically, relying on a single rune word to proc a ground effect to make the skill viable is kind of not really probably what they want. So maybe they are working on something else. Like, why doesn't Leap just do fissure anyways on landing? Like, or some different version of it that isn't fire based but physical based or something. Like that would be really good. Because that's really what's doing any damage here. My leap attack's doing 12k, which is, you know, it's good, but it's not incredible. So yeah, I do like it. I do think it's good, but I just don't understand what the identity is here for the ability. And in PD2, they've made pretty much every ability useful and have its own identity. Oh, wow, I hope that's not a Saj. I love finding good items when I'm testing stuff. Okay, good. It's just an angel ring. Yeah, so I mean, you know, it's fast. It's a fast mapper. If you're not stopping to pick stuff up, and if you don't care if you kill everything, you just want to, you know, kill most stuff and move on to the next map. Very good build, but I don't think it's. And it's also hard to like min-max the build, right? Like, yeah. But still very cool. I do like it. Every season they've iterated more on leap attack, and this season is the best. So I'm happy about that. I want to see more for it, and maybe some creativity. I mean, I just did a tier 3 map in 5 minutes with it. So what am I saying? It's obviously really good. But yeah, I wonder how much of stuff is actually all actually dead, and not just the little guys are dead. I also don't really know who else will use this rune word other than maybe Barb. Paladins wouldn't with charge for sure because it's so slow now. Requires IAS, so this would not be a good charge weapon. Also, it's not a sword. Can't make it in swords. Yeah, so yeah, I did get through the map quick, but look, I didn't really kill everything. I'd say I killed 70% of stuff on my first pass through. Yeah, see, they just kind of, they do take some damage, and then they'll slowly die to the fire if there is fire. And that's the other thing, like, it doesn't proc as much as I would have hoped. Now, let me just show you whirlwinding, just to wrap up the video here. Can I undo skill points? No, okay, there's no hotkey for that. No problem. Very quickly, we'll max whirlwind here. We'll max that. We'll max that. And we'll max that. And then I'll put the rest in frenzy. Don't need to, but I did anyways. Okay, and so let's just open a random map that doesn't have things that are okay, that looks fine. So let's check out just whirlwinding. So with whirlwind, you know, it's a little less damage for sure on the physical end, but we're attacking way more, and we're proccing way more. So, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about. But also, it's a different map, so who knows? Maybe leap attack is better, but yeah, I don't know. Anyways, that's the build. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about.